The Poppy of Speedstorm. Yo, is here with another video, guys, and today I want to talk about a video and about a subject that the community has been asking me to cover. So that's what we're going to be covering on today's video. Today's video is going to be talked about is the classes in this game. All right, so if you look at my screen, you got the Trickster class, the Defender class, the Speedster class, and the Brawler class. This is different than weight classes because there's different weight classes in each individual section here for each racer, like Aladdin midweight, Angel lightweight, Lotso heavyweight. So they have the weight classes are all in each class here individually. So this is talking about the Tricksters, Defenders, the Brawlers, and the Speedsters, and what their individual class is and what it means when a racer is that said class. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'll go from top to bottom here, and then we'll talk about the Tricksters first. So Tricksters are normally racers where their unique skills obviously are tailored to the character, but their common skills, they use hack a lot. So that's their class ability. So they have unique ability, class ability, and common abilities. So this is their unique, this is their class, and then the rest is their kit. So Aladdin gets boost and rush, and then shot as his common kit, and then obviously his class skill is the hack. So that's Aladdin's play style. So now while we're speaking on that subject right there, on their class skill, and the type of class that Tricksters are, so I will go ahead and explain while I'm racing as a Trickster, so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about, what Tricksters do. Like, I'll do a small little map here so we can go into each individual classes, and we'll just stay on here for the time being. So we'll do Jack Sparrow. Screw it, he's a Trickster. So Jack Sparrow's a Trickster, right? And aside from what I explained in the skills, they also have a benefit in the track as well with Tricksters. Ooh, my controller is not working. Okay, my controller is tweaking, guys. Well, guess what? That's I don't know what just happened there, guys. So with Tricksters, I might have picked the wrong map for this to showcase, but with Tricksters, when you drift, you get a massive amount of boost. So see, for example, when I drift with like a Speedster, Brawler, or a normal person, they don't get as much boost. Like, it takes 2 drift boosts with a Trickster, they get the full manual boost bar to get fully. Let me deplete this to show you guys. Fully deplete, right? You got the 1 drift, boom, and then another drift, boom, and he already has his manual boost active. And then when you're drift while you having that active as well, you will get more speed boost. So that's one thing that the Tricksters do. Now let me go back here and not use my ability. So another thing that Tricksters can do, right, is when they side bash, they get an item, they get a common skill, guys. So when you side bash somebody as a Trickster, I'm gonna let them go ahead so I can show you guys another side bash. Oh no, I got this ability that's gonna fucking not let me side bash. So let me get that away real quick. Yeah, I still got that ability. That's crazy. All right, we got last lap. So boom, see that? You side bash, and the common skills are based on your kit, but when you side bash, you'll get a random one for a Trickster class. And some people, you do that to say you need a cloak or something and try to get away from the pack. If you side bash and you get a cloak, if it's in your kit, you can do the cloak, and you can try to get away from the pack that way. So that's a Trickster right there, guys. A Trickster class. So the Tricksters, so quick breakdown, I have a photo here that actually shows this is like an older one, but a lot of it is kind of already there for you guys. So like the general philosophy, this is a nice little breakdown here of what I'm talking about. Let me I had to put my display capture on, so let me take this off and see if that works. Boom. Okay, I gotta take the crash out thing off first though. So from there, do I have another display capture? I don't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fit this to full screen real quick. All right, so this is it right here. So we have, you know, Mickey Mouse, Belle, Mowgli, they're speedsters. Their class skill. Mickey Mouse class skills rush. Belle's class skills boost. You know, and then Mowgli's is rush. And then they got their common skills. Obviously, they have different, you know, common skills. You know, same for, you know, Tricksters. You know, hack, bomb, hack. You know, those are normally the common skills for Tricksters. It's either bombs or hacks. For Brawlers, it's either the fire or the shots. And then for defenders, it's either the shield or the cloaks. So these are their class abilities, followed by their common skills. You know, so that's a brief breakdown on all of their class skills on top of their unique skills, which is, you know, uniquely tied to them, and obviously their common skills that, you know, are the common items that you get throughout the races, aside from your unique and class skills. Now, back in this day, I will tell you something right now, guys. Back in the day, back when Speedstorm did something called a 9-item rotation. They don't do that no more, but back in the day, it used to be a 9-item rotation. And then how the 9-item rotation worked is you get 9 items, you know, in a rotation. You will always get at least out of that 9 items, 3 of those 9 items is going to be your unique. 3 of those items are going to be your class skills. So back in the day, when you're racing, you know, sometimes, you know, a skill on that was, you know, if you got a unique, you know, sometimes you may not get a unique back to back. So you're probably like, you know, I got, you know, 3 rushes, for example. If you're playing Mickey Mouse, I got 3 rushes in these 9 items, 2 more uniques, and then the 3 other commons. And then you only get the one common each. So back in the 9-item rotation, if you got the shot, you weren't going to get that until the 9-item rotation resets again. Same with the bomb and the shield if you were Mickey Mouse. And then obviously you still get 3 rushes and 3 uniques. Once that 9 items is done, it resets, and then it's right back to the same 9-item rotation, but it's still random. You know what I'm saying? So that's the old system. Now in the new system, you know, it's different. You know, you get, you know, some people can get uniques back to back to back to back to back, especially when they're in first place, because they changed the way the 9-item rotation worked. And in the new system, you know, Tricksters, Brawlers, and Defenders, if you're in first place, you cannot get boost or rushes. That's only Speedsters. And we'll get to that when we talk about the Speedsters. But yeah, so now you don't get the 9-item rotation anymore. I kind of missed that 9-item rotation, not gonna lie, because that 9-item rotation was actually really nice. Not gonna lie. Now, on to the next class. No, that was Trickster for you guys. The next one is Defenders. So in the Defender scenario, we'll show you what Defenders can do here. Defenders have a unique slipstream. You know, everybody can slipstream in this game, mind you. Everybody can slipstream. The big difference with Defenders is that Defenders get more boost while they're slipstreaming. So I won't even like do this. Oh, I gotta change the track. But you see, I'm slipstreaming, people. You see how fast my boost item get? And then look, I'm a break so you guys can see. Look at how much my speed myometer is not moving because I'm slipstreaming this person right here. You see that? And that's how you can maintain boost. And then when you side bash with a defender, okay, the AI is not letting me side bash. What's going on here? All right, let me just go ahead. And then side bash. See, when you side bash, you get a green shield, guys. You get a green shield. Oh, I ran out of it. Damn. Whoops. But no, you get a green shield. So when you come over here, side bash, boom, you get a green shield. So if you're playing as a defender and you're slipstreaming and you're coming up to them because you're you're passing them, you can side bash them, get a green shield, and move away from the pack. So at that point, you know, you're defended, you got defense, you got boost, and then you can try to pull away. The same scenario, side bash again, you get boost too with the side bashes. So, you know, definitely do that. And then that is your defenders scenario for this. So that will be defenders. You know, they can slipstream, they can side bash to get the green shield. And you know that their main class skills, like the picture states, guys, like the picture states that I kind of closed it. Whoops, I'm sorry. Defenders, you know, their class shield or cloaks. So that's what defenders is regarded probably one of the best classes in this game. And it's regards because they can just slipstream people the whole race. They can maintain their boost, and then once the other people run out of boost, they can side bash them and then try to, you know, go away. You know what I'm saying? That's defender's play style. Trickster's play style is, you know, drift and keep maintaining boost, and you can side bash to get a common skill, you know. And then, you know, certain tricksters, you can bomb your way, you know, and maintain that first place. And then, you know, we got two other classes to talk about, y'all. Two other classes to talk about. And that is, let me change this map first and foremost, because that is kind of crazy. I don't know why I keep doing that. All right, so now we changed the map. We did defenders, we did trickster. The next one is speedster. So this is the one that I'm talking about with the speedster class. So speedsters are the only ones. I don't know if you guys know this because I wasn't really in first place or like that, but tricksters and the defender class that I played was not getting no boosts or no rushes in first place. Now that changes with speedsters. Speedsters can get all these items in first place. And then another good thing about speedsters, their common thing is when you go on a speed pad, look at this, you get a lot of boosts off that speed pad. No other classes get a boost with the speed pads when you go over it other than the speedsters. You know, the other classes still get them if they have manual boosts because their manual boost is active, so they'll get a little like charge up, but when they're not, they don't. And then when it comes to speedsters, you know, no matter if they got manual boosts or not, they'll get the little chunk of manual boosts. And then obviously let's go ahead and side bash. When you side bash people, you take their momentum away. So let's go ahead and show that real quick. I let these guys pass me so we can show that. Oh, I'm in the air right now. That's no bueno. Okay, let's go. Oh, all right. So let's showcase this. Okay. Side bash. So I took her momentum away, even though it doesn't show it because it's probably AI in the CPU racers. But you side bash, you see how you stop momentum, and you see how I'm boosting forward. So when you side bash, you kind of get like a boost forward. It's very slight, but you still do. When you side bash, see how I got a little boost forward there. So that's the little thing that speedsters do, and then you also stop the momentum of the other racers when you do that as well. And then obviously, you know, the manual boosts keep getting charged, and then you're also getting boost items in first place. So that is the main benefits of the speedster class right there. And that is the speedster class. And now we can go ahead and talk about the last class in this list, which is the Brawlers, baby. The Brawlers. Now with the Brawler class, these guys are the heavy hitters. These guys are the ones with the ability to side bash you and stun you. Okay, these are the attackers of the groups. And with this, usually Brawlers tend to have probably the worst boost stat in the game. So they usually eat boosts like it's water. I mean, the other classes do the same thing too, because it really is dependent on the boost stat. But Brawlers suffer when it comes to maintaining boosts. And I'll show you here. They're meant to be aggressive out of the bunch. So when a Brawler side bashes you, you get stunned. That's what happens when a brawler side bashes you. And also when you side bash as a brawler, you get manual boost. So let me try to see if I can get somebody to come next to me so I can show y'all that. I'm not gonna do nothing because I want you out of so. Oh my god. See, but look at, see how I'm going through speed pads and I wasn't getting no manual boost. That's the point of that. So now I'm catching up. Side bash, you see that? I just got my boost bar fully loaded again. So I was able to side bash, get my boost again, and then I'm able to, you know, try to pull away now. And you see how my speed, they see how my manual boost is just draining. Yeah, they suffer from that. But you know, if you're an aggressive racer, maybe the brawler class might be your forte. Maybe you like the brawler class because of that and being aggressive. And that's pretty much it for the brawler class. You know, the side bashes to get you your manual boost. You know, you can stun people by side bashing, so you can literally keep side bashing somebody to get them away from you. You know, that's the main aspect for the brawlers themselves. Now let's talk team mode, because team mode, you know, things are different because you can't stun your teammates, right? So for each class, when it comes to team mode, with the tricksters, when you side bash your teammate also gets a common skill item. So you and your teammate gets a common skill item when you side bash them as a trickster. When you side bash as a defender, you get a shield, and also your teammate gets a green shield. So in team mode, that's how that works when you side bash as that class. Now with speedsters, you both get a little boost. That's what happens when you side bash a teammate in team mode. And then for brawlers, when you side bash a teammate, you fill up their manual boost. You know, you don't stun them, but you fill up their manual boost. So guys, if you're playing team mode and you guys didn't realize you can side bash your teammates, you can. Now be careful, because side bashing your teammates sometimes can kind of throw them off. You know, it still hurts for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like if you can side bash a teammate, you shouldn't like be able to push them. But if you're in a straightaway next to your teammate, side bash them. Give them a common skill. Give them some boost. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're playing a class or a character that eats up boost. A nice little side bash as a brawler will fill up their boost bar, so you guys can literally, you know, lead away from the pack, you know, for example. So that is the team mode scenarios of these classes when they side bash. Now, like I said, sometimes certain boosts, certain stats, you know, also dictate, you know, brawlers. Like sometimes brawlers tend to have more combat than normal. Like obviously Anger only has 6,000. You know, Baymax combat has 8,000, you know. And obviously heavyweights got top speed, so don't look at that like that, because I could look at a heavyweight, you know, defender and have that same type of, you know, speed. You know, heavyweight defender 9.3k. So you know, that's a weight class, you know, specific stat. But you know, the classes also, you know, they take some of the stats too, like brawler, defender, speedsters, and tricksters. You know, I feel like a lot of brawlers have, you know, pretty good combat stat. You know, like look at Donald, he's a lightweight, it has 7,000 combat. You know, Jesse, another lightweight, 7,000 combat. You know, Minnie, you know, 7,000 combat. So I feel like, you know, brawlers tend to have a pretty high, you know, combat stat. You know, 6,000 to 7,000. Now, if you go to say a defender, you know, he has a 5,000 combat stat. As a, I don't know, that's a speedster. That's a speedster. You know, speedsters look like they got lower combat stats. You know, 5,000 seems to be the trend here. No matter what speedster I pick, 5,000 seems to be the trend. Obviously she's 4,000, but that's because she's not fully leveled up. She would also be 5,000. You know, Corella, a midweight, 5,000. Jack Skellington, you know, still another 5,800. You know, then that's that. Now defenders, you know, defenders, look at their stats. You know, combat 8,000. You know, that could probably be, defenders are the ones that are known for defense. You know, Snow White is a big example. Snow White has 6,000 combat. You know what I'm saying? That's different. Sally has 8,000. So defenders are different, you know. Some defenders have 8,000, some has 6,000, you know, some has 7,000. So, you know, defenders are a little different when it comes to that scenario. And then obviously your tricksters, you know, I think they also tend to have, you know, around 6,000, maybe 5,000 combat, depending on who they are. Now with tricksters, you know, I feel like, you know, their boost stat, I think is something that differentiates them, because I think I think it's acceleration. Because if you look at, you know, Mulan, Trickster, you know, her acceleration's at 7.3, her boost is 6.7. You look at Belle's acceleration's at 7.5 as well as her handling, because she's a speedster. You know, Randall being a trickster, you know, he's, you know, pretty balanced, other than the top speed being up because he's a midweight. And then, you know, obviously Donald, you know, is a brawler with the 6.2. So that is your class breakdown from all the different classes, from tricksters to speedsters to brawlers to defenders. You guys know exactly what they do as each individual class. You know, defenders, you're all meant to defend. Slipstream, side bash for defense. You know, speedsters are supposed to be the, you know, a fast class. You know, you get the boost item in first place. They keep, you know, that first place in the pack. You can side bash somebody to stop their momentum, and then you get a little, you know, boost forward. Brawlers are meant to be aggressive, stun heavy, stun happy. Side bash, you get your boost back, and you know, stun a team, you stun a rival opponent. And then obviously the last one being, you know, tricksters, which, you know, they like to drift. So tricksters are the drifting class. You drift, you're gonna get your manual boost quicker. You can maintain it while active. I keep drift chaining. So that's your trickster class. They're meant to be like the tricksters. You know, you side bash them, you get a random common skill. Like I like how they broke down these classes and what they do. You know, because it gives them like a unique like sense. You know what I'm saying? As well as their weight classes as well. So I think they did an amazing job of how they set this game up like this, with the different weight classes, and then obviously the different actual classes in the game. So that is my breakdown, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this, and if I missed something, you know, that explains a little bit more in depth of what these classes are, please leave a comment down below. You know, but I think I hit pretty much all the targets when it comes to, you know, what these classes do. So again, leave a comment down below, and again, thank you guys all for supporting my channel. This one's a little longer video because I was trying to break everything down and show you real life gameplay scenarios, and you know, try to break everything down as best as I could. So I hope I did a good job, guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Y'all, thank you again for supporting my channel, and then like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified whenever we go live. And the Poppy of Speedstorm is out, baby.